Hello everyone, and welcome to Galaxy 89 Cars. Today, thanks to Wilson's Nissan, I'm bringing you an in-depth exterior and interior tour and exhaust video of this 2019 Nissan GT-R Nismo. Wilson's Nissan currently have this, in addition to many other high-specification cars for sale, and all of their contact details can be found in the description of the video. Often called the supercar killer for its immense yet affordable performance, the Nissan GT-R was officially launched as its own model in 2007, but it's an evolution of the cult classic Nissan Skyline GT-R, a model line that extends back to 1969. In 2014, Nissan introduced a hardcore variant of GT-R called Nismo that offers even more performance combined with upgraded suspension, braking and aero. Presented here in Ultimate Silver, Nismo is 4,688mm long, 1,894mm wide, 1,369mm high, and weighs 1725 kilograms, with a weight distribution of 54 at the front to 46 at the rear. Now moving to performance, we need to pull the black catch in the driver's footwell to unlatch the bonnet. Then moving around to the front, we need to depress the small catch on the bonnet's underside, before raising it up and supporting it with the single arm below. Before we focus on the engine itself, we can take note of the carbon fibre composite that surrounds it. Nismo is powered by a mid-front mounted 3.8-litre twin-turbo V6 that it shares with the standard GT-R, but here uprated to produce 594 brake horsepower and 652 Nm of torque. That's 30 brake horsepower and 15 Nm more than the standard GT-R. This output results in a 0 to 62 mph or 100 km/h time of 2.7 seconds with launch control, and a top speed of 196 mph. The same figures as the base GT-R. Despite these figures being unchanged, Nismo does have a new GT3-inspired turbo design that increases acceleration response by 20%. Nismo sits on these specially made, lightweight, forged alloy wheels that are inspired by Nissan's GT500 race car. They are made by Rays, have 6 spokes and are 20 inches at each corner, and reduce weight by 1.5 kilograms overall. Braking is provided by drilled and ventilated monoblock high-performance discs, 390mm at the front and 380mm at the rear. Stability comes from front independent aluminium double wishbones and a rear independent multi-link setup, both with custom Nismo-tuned 3-stage Bilstein adaptive dampers. There's also an electrically controlled, adaptable 4-wheel drive system called VDC that can send 100% of the car's torque to the rear wheels and as much as 50% to the front wheels, depending on conditions. This system also enables brake steer by lightly depressing the brake to specific wheels to improve turning. Now we've finished the model overview, we can start the exterior in-depth tour from front to back, with comparisons to the base GT-R. The front of Nismo, called carbon fibre front fascia, starts with a new extended carbon splitter at the bottom that helps to reduce drag. This new splitter creates 2 new winglets and 2 new intakes on each side. Above these is a new carbon fibre panel with LED lighting. Moving in from these panels, we come to new, more defined air intakes, possibly for brake cooling, and centrally, a newly formed main intake for the radiators and intercooler. Moving up, there's another grilled intake area, broken into 3 by the central component, just as in the base GT-R, but the strut below is now formed from carbon. There's also a new Nismo badge to the right. Above and on either side of this are the standard HID tri-main beams, with LED daytime running lights between these and the indicators above. The bonnet behind is shared with the base GT-R, where the intakes on either side help the 3.8-litre engine to breathe and stay cool. The windscreen behind with its 2 wipers is also shared with the base GT-R. Moving back, there are no features on the roof, and I don't believe a sunroof can be spec'd. We can now move to the lateral aspect of Nismo. At the bottom, there are new extended carbon fibre side skirts with red detailing. These help to increase lateral airflow and increase downforce. Above these, we find vents that release air from the front wheel arches to improve stability. The electrically adjustable wing mirrors above are also shared, but also presented in a contrasting colour with a continuation of the red stripe here. Continuing back, we come to the integrated door handles and keyless entry sensors. Behind these and on the right side here is the car's fuel tank flap. It can easily be opened with a light depress. Nismo's fuel tank can hold 74 litres, with the car returning a combined MPG of 21. Below and on either side of the car, the ends of the carbon side skirts have also been extended, but keep their air vents. Moving back up, the large rear window is unchanged. However, the rear wing here is very different to the base GT-R. The new, handmade carbon spoiler improves rear downforce and creates a far more track-focused aesthetic. There's an LED brake light strip integrated into its lower ducktail spoiler. Below and on either side of this are the classic GT-R circular rear light complexes. The only change found below these is the new Nismo badge found to the left. Continuing down, we come to the reversing camera, fixed above the reg plate. The bottom of the rear of Nismo is called carbon fibre rear fascia. It starts with extended carbon fibre above the exhausts to facilitate rear brake cooling. Below this, we find the full, valve-controlled quad-exit titanium exhaust system that we will hear shortly. Between these exits is another vented area and the rear diffuser that helps to control air flowing from under the car. This is especially important here, as the underside of the car is covered in composite panels and features air dams, improving aerodynamic efficiency by decreasing drag and lift. Let's now hear how Nismo sounds. Now we've finished the exterior in-depth tour, we can move inside. Nismo's key comes with 3 buttons: lock, unlock, and to open the boot. Now moving inside, the integrated handles can easily be pressed out, grabbed, and then used to open the doors. The form of the interior here is much the same as in the base GTR, but Nismo comes with a dual-colour interior and significantly more Alcantara and carbon, which we will see in more detail as we progress through the video. We can now start the interior tour with the doors. The top is upholstered in leather and starts with a physical lock indicator and venting along from this. The leather continues below, and following the upright panel down, we come to the padded armrest, contrast door handle, door release catch, then internal lock and electric window controls. The bottom of the doors are carpeted and start with this entry light. There's a small, open storage area along from this, with the car's Bose door speaker from the 11-speaker system. Moving to the left, the extended sill has an affected ingress and egress, which I found to be a straightforward process. The standard GTR kickplate sits on top of the sill here. And moving along, we come to the bonnet release, adaptive lights, parking sensors and exhaust valve controls, boot release, electric mirror controls and first air vent. To the left of this is the steering wheel, here upholstered in Alcantara as opposed to leather in the base GTR. Taking a closer look, it starts with a new contrast, leather 12 o'clock marker. Volume and menu controls to the left. Cool and cruise control buttons to the right, and continued Alcantara below. Behind and on either side, we find the long gear shifters for Nismo's 6-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox. To start the car, the red engine start-stop button needs to be depressed. When this has been done, the car's central screen and instruments come to life. Now focusing on the instrument cluster ahead. The physical buttons to the left are to adjust cruise control settings. The dial in from this is the speedo with a carbon finish. Then revs in Nismo red finish with small display, gear display, fuel level, engine temperature, warning light array and buttons for the small display. This small display starts with general info, then real-time MPG, current speed, trip MPG and MPH, last drive duration and distance, remaining range, outside temperature and general settings. The dash behind is now upholstered in Alcantara as opposed to leather and features venting and airbags. Moving down, the central column starts with the 8-inch infotainment screen. The buttons surrounding it are for CD player input at the top, menu, map, day-night mode, audio, volume rotary, function, change track, back and zoom rotary. The main menu of the infotainment system starts with several direct touch controls and the ability to move left or right for further info, such as time and date. The first menu we can select is audio for the car's FM and DAB digital radio. Phone is next and can be used to pair devices via Bluetooth and access the user's phone book and make calls. Info comes after and enables the user to access location and traffic information, Apple CarPlay and vehicle info such as Eco Drive Report and tyre pressure. And surprisingly, menu takes us back to where we started. By pressing map, we can access the car's map that updates in real time and can be manually moved around and zoomed in and out of. In navigation, the user can input destinations, choose from previously used destinations and select local points of interest. All of the usual options, such as date and time configuration, sound and connectivity, can be found in settings. The left menu screen offers direct access controls for these screens, plus Bluetooth and USB connectivity options. The reversing camera is also displayed here, as well as a G-meter, lap timer and core engine data while driving. Moving down, there are two manually adjustable air vents. Below these, we come to the controls for the dual-zone climate and ventilation system, from left to right, front and rear demist, passenger zone rotary, system on-off button, fan speed, mode, AC, driver zone rotary, auto and recirculation. We can then briefly turn this display on to see how usable it and the controls are. Below this, we come to three buttons that enable the user to individually configure the car's setup of transmission, suspension and traction control between R mode, normal and special driving modes for performance and long-range driving respectively. Then moving to the flat, carbon part of the central column, we first come to the main drive mode selector for the car's 6-speed DCT auto. The car's transmission can be left in full auto mode, or changing can be done here sequentially, or by using the paddles we saw earlier. There is a small control array behind with direct access controls for back, menu, map and voice, a new rotary, all for the infotainment system, and a new Nismo plaque to its right. Continuing back, we come to the leather upholstered handbrake. To its left is a shutter. If we pull this back, we find two concealed cup holders. Moving back, we come to a large leather upholstered armrest. This can be lifted up after depressing the catch at the front to reveal a storage area with USB and aux inputs. On either side of the central column, we find these Nismo leather and Alcantara upholstered and carbon-backed Recaro bucket seats that are both electrically and manually adjustable. To move into the rear, we need to pull the catch to the outside shoulder of the seat and pull it forward. With the seat forward, we also have a good opportunity to take a look at the carbon. The rear of the interior is formed from two seats, separated by the continuation of the central column. At the top, there's a large Bose speaker array, and below, a single cup holder. Moving back around, we can view the final storage area in the front. The glove compartment can be easily opened by pulling the catch. It offers a good amount of storage space and can be easily closed. Now moving outside, the boot can be opened by depressing the button here or that on the key. Despite the large spoiler, the carbon fibre boot lid can be lifted up easily. Standard here, but otherwise optional, this boot lid increases the car's rigidity and reduces overall weight by 2 kilograms. GTR Nismo has a boot capacity of up to 315 litres. Taking a closer look, we can first note how deep it is, and with large indentations on each side. Once finished in the rear, the lid can easily be brought down and fixed below. We can now move back inside briefly to view the car's final few features. There are large, leather upholstered sun visors on each side with illuminated vanity mirrors. Moving centrally, there are dual reading lights and the button for tow preparation. Below this is the auto-dimming rearview mirror. So that concludes my in-depth exterior and interior in-depth tour and exhaust video of this 2019 Nissan GTR Nismo that's for sale with Wilson's Nissan at the time of publishing. You can find all of their contact details in the description of the video. Please subscribe for the latest content, and until next time, thanks for watching.